Part 2. Got the nut nice and faced off, and we're right behind the face of the drive hub that we turned down about 15 thou. So now what I'm going to do is, I already set the preload on this, but I'm going to take it back off, and this excess thread that's sticking out, I'm just going to take the porta-band there, and I'm just going to whack that off with the porta-band, dress it up with the grinder, and we'll be good. We'll be good to assemble this side and do the other side. So we should be getting the rear end back in the car today, which I'm going to pull that third member off. I'm going to clean everything good one time, put it together, and put a little spray bomb it, a little spray paint, and the rear should be in there for good now. So let's take this hub back off and let's go ahead and saw that off. Porta-band made short work out of that. I'll go ahead and dress this up right quick, and let's make sure our nut floats back on. And see, the width of the thread, the width of the nut, we're not losing any strength or rigidity because we're still 100%, have 100% thread engagement. And I left the nut on there, that's why it got a little scratched up, even I faced it off. I wanted to leave that on there where I saw cut it, so I rolled the nut off it to break the burr. I'm just going to take the file, dress that up, but you can see it has full engagement on the thread, so we're good. And that's going to give us just enough clearance from what we took off. Took that excess thread off with the porta-band. We're pretty good. I'm going to get this all cleaned up now. I'd like to assemble this side, and this side will be done. And then we can just blow it all out with some compressed air. But let me put the phone down, and I'm going to put that back together. And I'll show you that. Then I'll take the other side apart, and we'll go ahead and fix that side up. And the way I did this now, the nut goes on there, and when it tightens up the preload, so we checked it and measured it, it's exactly flush with what we cut off. So when the drive plate gets bolted on here flat, there'll be no way for that nut ever to loosen up and come off. So we don't have to worry about cotter pins or anything like that, because there's nowhere for it to go. It's going to be totally encapsulated. So I think that's going to work well. It's going to give us right at 3/8 of an inch more room. And like I said, the rear end was off, so we don't have to take as much off that side. That's why I did this one first, because I took off as much as we possibly could. I mean, it probably would have, about 5/8 of an inch would have been ideal. We couldn't go that much, but we're going to deliver what we got. Like I said, I took off 450 thou, but I had to take in consideration the thickness of the drive plate. So altogether, we're gaining like 3/8 of an inch. So, but that'll work. That'll be just enough, because the tire, when it grows, it gets narrower. So as long as we have clearance when it's rolling around, when I kick it in the ass, it's going to grow taller and thinner, so we'll have more clearance then, so we'll be good. And someone asked what our bolt pattern was, and you see these hubs are multi-pattern. I got them set up 5-on-5. They can go 5-on-5 or 5-on-5.5. 5-on-5 is common because we buy a lot of used parts, as you know. These beadlocks came off of Pro Mod, but they're multi-pattern. Are these multi-pattern? No, these are just straight on 5-on-5. So, but the other car is 5-on-5. So I want everything as interchangeable as we can. So when we take one car to the track, if something breaks and we got to steal some parts off the other car, everything will fit. So yeah, 5-on-5. Put these wheel studs back in again. Now that we've mocked up and we're all good to go, we can put that hub on for good now. Just a couple good tacks on each side. So I had Anthony come out, and I decided just to put a couple little tacks on here just for safety, to know that even though it's encapsulated and it can't roll off, put a couple tacks on there. Because, I mean, this isn't something that's coming apart very often, and if I have to come apart, I'll just grind the tack off. But I can't utilize that factory star washer that goes on there. It's like a, oh, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, one of these. So there's not enough clearance. Put that on it and bend it back. So I said, well, even though it can't loosen up, let's put a couple tacks on there. So I bothered him. He's still home tonight. Made him come out here and do that for me because I can't weld for shit. And it's good. I'm going to blow it all off. Now we'll put it together. I forgot I got to re-tap the little flathead Allen screws that just hold this plate on, hold the drive plate on. So, little 1/4 thread. Got 2 of them. And the thread went away when I faced all that off, so I'll go ahead and just put some threads in there, and then that one, and we'll be good to go again. All right, there we go. So here we are machining the second hub to the right side. And just got word that my brother's getting some welding and fabrication done on the main car. So we might slide over there in a little bit and check him out and see what progress he's making out while we finish doing the rear on this one today. So I'm just going to finish cutting this. You can see where I've already cut away where the O-ring groove was. We got to, again, put that O-ring groove back in. So let's finish this up, and we'll head over to my brother's, check on him. He's only 5 minutes from here. And we'll finish this rear up for this today. Maybe slide it over to Ed's tomorrow and have him put some nice paint on it. Old Mr. Brown and Sharp's hungry. Just finished another bar. We're knocking them down. What did we put, 15, 20 bars up here? We got about 6 left. I just heard it, distinct sound, and it was cutting air and not any material. So let's shove another bar in this. So we got somebody making a buck or two while we're playing with the race car. It's pretty cool how these old machines work. So these are just tubes that the material slide in, and it's just basically a tube and a stand, and the bar just spins in there, and the machine has a built-in feed mechanism. It uses a feed tube and some feed pads. You can't really see them in here. They come in this, you buy them, you can buy them in different materials, cast iron, steel, plastic. You know, if you don't want to scratch the OD of the material, so you buy a softer feed pad. But it has a tube, and the bar slides in here, and this mechanism works in and out, so it just shucks the bar in. Every time the collet opens, it shucks it in up against the stop. Once it cuts off the finished part, the feed out. Here, I'll see if I can hold this up, I'll show you. So basically, again, you guys all know how small my backyard machine shop is. I think the building's only 25 foot long, and these bars are 12 foot, so it's a little trick to get these in, especially when I got the machine all the way up against the wall back here. Slide that in there. I already manually opened the collet, so you'll see it's going to knock the remnant out when I shove the new bar in. See it? I pull it just enough just to cut off the bar end. The bar ends, especially on steel, a lot of times they're a little harder than the rest of the bar, where they get annealed. But this is brass, so I just want to cut off just the tip, just to start off with a fresh bar end. So now I'll just manually close it. Has a hand wheel on the back with a clutch to work the hand wheel on or off. So let's give it a quick turn. And now I closed it. And now I'll close the bearing holder for the feed tube. Sometimes these close random. So we've got brass hammers around. Knock it in place. Bring the bar tube back up. Lock the stand. Close our hood. Fire the spindle back up. And we gotta put our turret back in sync. I always take our turret out of sync, so when I shove the bar out, I don't hit any of the tools. This lever here puts that back into sync where it is. The machine doesn't have a computer, so it never knows where it's at. So if we take it out of time, it doesn't know. You gotta put it back in the spot, get it back into time. So it's ready to go right there. Only buttons on the machine are the spindle on and off. You turn the drive shaft on. The drive shaft is what turns the camshaft. We call it a drive shaft. That's what all the cams ride on. This particular machine has one. This cam here is your overhead slide cutoff, front and rear cross slides, and your lead cam back here. Your lead cam is the cam for the 6 positions on the turret for all your end working tools. So all we got to do is just hit start, and it's kind of cool. It's got a jog, like when you're setting it up, you just hit jog. And slowly inch it to trying to set up or check sizes, but we've been running, we're making good parts. So all we got to do is turn our drive shaft back on. We're in business. Oh, I'm gonna get an oil bath. Put the hood down. All right, she'll be good to go for another hour, and we can get back on the rear end. Go back over there. So we got our hub all turned down to what we want. We got our nice O-ring groove back in. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Bridgeport here to countersink these bolt holes to get the sharp edges out of there. Put a nice chamfer there again. Hit these right quickly. I gotta get some meta glasses. That would really help show what I'm doing, try to hold parts at the same time. Nice chamfer there. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me finish chamfering these, and we'll walk next door back to the dirty garage, and we'll put this side back together. Okay, so we got the right side back on. I'm going to put the nut on here now, get the preload set, and see how much we have to trim off this side. Again, we didn't have to remove as much off this side. We're trying to center the rear end up, so we're not gaining as much tire clearance here, but it was off. It had less clearance on the left, more on the right. As you can see, remember the thickness I cut off with the porta-band on the end there. I probably only got to cut off about half that much, if any, just to make sure this doesn't stick out when the drive plate goes on to hold this all together. So got our studs back in, faced off what we want, machined our grooves back, retapped our holes, this time on the bench, a little easier to hold our drive plate on, and we're just about done. We're going to mock this up, I'm going to measure it one more time, we're going to cut it, and it'll be going together for good. So let me put the phone down and make my measurement, and we'll take the porta-band like we did the other side, whack that off. We'll go bother my son Anthony one more time to come out here and put a couple little tacks on with the MIG. He does a little neater job with the MIG than I do. I actually have an old TIG welder in here, but I don't have 3-phase here in the back garage. I run an extension cord to the big shop about 100 feet away, so I need to get that hooked up so I don't have to bother him. He gets a little perturbed on the weekends when I bother him to come out here and do something for me. Sometimes, but he's a good kid. So, well, let's knock this out, finish this up, and it'll be one more thing just about done. Finishing up that second spanner nut, final cut there. Get the preload set, spot welded on, and just about home free. Okay, we got our dimension set right there where that little yellow paint marker is. I'm gonna take the portaband now and slice that off. You got that, Dulcich? Oh, ain't no Dulcich here. I work by myself, that's right. Sorry, Freiberger. I'm all by myself bombing. Alright, so we cut that off. There's the remnant. Got sliced off. I set my spanner nut, got my preload. So now we're just going to tack that on, and we'll be good to go. We can put the drive covers on, and we'll be set. So I'm going to call my Dulcich right now. Anthony, he's out there. I guess he could be my Dulcich. Let him come in here and tack this for me. Dulcich! Will you come weld this for me, Dulcich? You be my Dulcich for a day? for 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah. Actually I made it. I undercut it a little bit, so you just tack it there. It only needs 2 tacks, and then this is a little lower, so you can tack it, 180 from each other.
Okay.
Let's wheel it over, Dulcich. Yeah, that'll do it. I'll just grind them in. Cool. Yeah, I gotta hook up this old TIG welder back up so I can do some easy stuff. I suck at the MIG for some reason. All right. I appreciate it. That's actually his MIG welder. Have you paid that thing off yet from Snap-on?
Hey,
By the time you're my age, you'll have it paid off. All right, fellas, about done. Welds worked out good, nice and flush. We got our drive plates on now. Our little screws were retapped. And again, these plates, they just use that little screw. And all that really is to hold that on so you don't break the sealant. If you're gonna put some silicone there or leak out, gear oil when you take the tire off. You didn't have these little screws to hold it on, then the drive hub would constantly want to come off. So, about over today, but we got this finished. Seemed like a lot of work for just a little bit. Again, we ended up on the left side shortening up about a 1/2 inch we ended up with, and on the right side a 1/4 inch. Like I said, this rear end for some reason was off in the car, and we were fighting a little bit of tire clearance going with these funny car tires. Obviously the car maybe wasn't built for this Vette body, which is kind of narrow. But instead of cutting it all apart, a little bit of machine work, there's enough clearance to do what we need to do. And just to show you now, I'm not going to finish assembling the rear, but I'll probably do tomorrow. I'm going to pull the third member out and clean it up real good, and we're going to wheel it over to Eddie's next door, the body shop, and get him to shoot some nice paint on this thing for us. Match it up whatever color we decide to do with the chassis. I'll talk to Chris tonight and see what color he wants to do it. And Ed owes us some favors, get him to put some nice base clear on this thing. But other than that, and then this is remember your axle, the floater axle, and that's how this goes in. This will just go in through the spline. This will go through the spool, and then that'll press in through that spline, and then this just bolts on there, that little cap. And that holds your axle in, and we're done. But I'm not going to bolt the axle in. Like I said, now I want to take it apart and clean it one more time, and then we'll tape it up and paint her up, and she'll be ready to go back in the car. So that'll conclude this broadcast day. I didn't get a chance to go over to my brother's, but I'm going to leave you guys. He sent me a couple little video clips of what he's doing, working on the main funny car. So I'll conclude this part 2 with a little bit of footage he sent me. It looked like he's doing some. Looked like he's getting that pedal in the right spot, and that brake, the brake pedal and the throttle pedal working. So I'll leave you off with that. So I want you guys, appreciate you hanging out. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And hopefully this week I'll check in with some Hemi tech. We'll start putting that big motor, I don't know about big, but our first motor, Hemi, together for the other car. So, all right guys, have a good evening.
Alright now?
Hell yeah.
We'll hold this tab right there. That way it's removable, because that way it might be in the way, you know, if you gotta pull the transmission out.
Custom transmission and gas pedal, all in one, baby.
Let me sit in there and see how it looks in my phone. I know it's a little higher, but... Oh shit, that feels pretty good.
That feels pretty good. I mean, we measured it out. Look, I told you it's gonna sit about right there.
Yeah.
Clear of everything. And your heel can rest on the bracket.
Yeah.
All right.
The hell's wrong with that?
Prince Brothers Special, baby.